My name is Jim Coker. I am a software developer and product designer for Five12 Inc. I make a hardware sequencer called the Vector Sequencer. This is a vector and black panel. We also have it in a silver panel. We have an expander for it as well. The Vector is a digital sequencer with an analog style control format. So you have these big beautiful displays, but also knobs, and you can just edit right away and see what you're doing. 8 steps at a time, 16 step sequences standard, but you can also go to 32 or 64. All your edit nodes are along the top, so we can edit pitch or glide, gate time or groove timing, velocity, and CCs for that matter, step length and repeat, ratchets, chance operations. So for any step I can pick an operation like say jump forward. I can set a probability. I can even say do it all the time, but only every 4th bar. We have internal modulation, a couple of subsequencers for the main sequencer, and of which there are actually 8 sets of these, 8 parts. The first 4 parts are monophonic. The next 4 parts can be chords or drums. We work equally well with MIDI or CV. We have 2 MIDI outputs on board, USB A and B connectors, also CV, 2 sets of CV part outputs on board, pitch, gate, velocity, 4 more on the expander, also triggers and DIN MIDI and DIN sync on the expander, 2 modulation inputs on the Vector that can be mapped to any of dozen parameters. We have presets. Each part you get at least 20 presets for a 16-step sequence. You can quickly build arrangements that span multiple parts for a full composition. You can also even set up scenes, so you can trigger different sets of presets across all 8 parts at the same time.
Awesome. So I notice in your case here, there's a new module that has a little bit of that visual language we've come to know for Five12. So what's this little one?
This is called the QVL, or Quad Variable LFO. This is a prototype module. We haven't quite finalized the panel design. This is a digital module, of course. It has 4 LFOs with all the common wave shapes, but also some chaos waveforms like the Lorenz attractor and logistic modular, and a Perlin noise generator. There are 4 CV outs on the bottom, plus or minus 5 volts. There are also 4 CV inputs for modulation. There are a total of 8 modulation buses. The internal LFOs can modulate each other, or you can have external CV modulated. There's even a couple of simple attack release or attack sustain release envelopes for internal modulation. And there are output level processors. So for example, if you're going to patch a plus or minus 5 volt LFO to say the CV input on the SEM filter here, this input has no attenuator, but the LFO has enough control that you can scale it to say a small unipolar range so that you're not like crushing the filter cutoff when you're trying to add a little extra wiggle to it. Onboard presets, there'll be 64 presets in Flash, backplane connection to the Vector, so the Vector can sync it and send it program changes.
Awesome. And of course, people are going to want to know, let's pick a year. What year do you think this might be available?
This will be available this year. We're looking at October or November.
See, you just put yourself in a corner now. The throngs of angry internet people, you come out on December 1st and you're screwed, man.
Yeah, well, at least we're going to get it out, man. We've been sitting on this for like 2 years trying to get this finished, and I'll be using it tonight in a performance, wiggling some filters with it.
Awesome.
And also, we are well on way with Vector firmware 3.0. So for example, we have undo now. So if I clear out this sequence and just set it up with straight C's, I hit Q plus next, that saves that change to the preset buffer. Now I can edit the pattern here, I can do whatever I want. I hit Q plus previous, and now we're back to where we were. Also, we are going to have what I call masked modulation. So you could say go to a subsequencer, set up transpose modulation, turn that on. We'll go with 4 steps at quarter notes, and we'll just enter some numbers. And then on the control side, we say mask, sub 1, So what happens is we don't get the modulation until we actually start selecting the steps. Only selected steps are modulated. So it's a really cool improvisational feature, but also if you've programmed a pattern and you want certain notes to change in pitch and not the others, right? Also, we're looking at fill patterns, and I don't have any of that show yet today, but that's going to be coming soon as well.
Awesome. Well, if folks want to know more about you and your products, where would they go online?
Go to five12.com. The Vector Sequencer user group on Facebook is very active. There's also the forum at five12.net, and you can always email.
And he means it. You really can email. All right, Jim, thanks so much. Have a great show.
All right, thanks, man. Good to see you.
Likewise.